Hello, Katie here from followkatie.com. I'm here in beautiful Jamaica, but today it's raining, so if you can hear the thunder, it's outside, so I decided to do it in my room, in my beautician room. Today we are going to talk about how to create a powerful social media strategy. You need to have some plan, you need to have a strategy to have a business that you want to keep for long term. You don't want to do your business short term, you want to do it long term. It might take time, but if you have the right strategy, you'll be able to build it. So see in a few seconds the few steps I'm going to give it to you. So the step number one you have to do is you have to write your goals. As I said just a few seconds ago, you can't build your business overnight. So it has to be a long-term business. So you have to do and write your goals, for example, in 5 years' time, what you want to do, what you want to achieve, where will you be, maybe 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, and 6 months also is very important, and 3 months. But what I would say is once you have these big goals and what you know exactly where you want to be in 5 years' time, you need to do some activity goals also every week. So for example, on Monday, you write your activity goals, what you do, you write what you can do during that week, and on Friday, you look at it. If you achieve what you said you did, you can celebrate. But if you didn't, don't beat yourself. You can check out what worked, what didn't work, why you didn't achieve all the goals you decided to do back on Monday. Maybe you had something in family or whatever, but you have to make sure that you do write goals, because if you don't do it, you won't be able to check on it from time to time, and then you are not going to move forward because you want to improve yourself every time. So, but always celebrate, no matter what. If you didn't do everything, who cares? You have to celebrate what you did, because most of the entrepreneurs, what's happening is we don't celebrate. We kind of feel always, we see the bad thing happening all the time. We don't see what we did so far, what we improved. We always see the negativity. So that is important that you do celebrate each time you achieve a goal. So if it's a bigger goal 3 months later, then you can, for example, go to the cinema. 6 months, 1 year, you can go maybe and celebrate doing a travel, going Disneyland, whatever. Okay? So that's why it is very important that you do that. So that was step number one. Now, step number two, you have to visualize and envision your what you want to do, what you want to achieve. So for that, you can do a vision board, and because you have to live it, you have to make sure that every single day you have your why beside you, and that's why the vision board is great. You can take magazines and then you can wrap up whatever you have to do and put if you want a car, if you want a house, if you want a house on the beach, if you want to be able to skydiving, anything, okay? So you can do a vision board. You can also put it on your phone. On your phone is great also because you can have it all the time beside you. I have, for example, because if you follow me, you know that I want to have my own spa. I have already my own skincare product, which I'm very proud and very happy with it. And my next step now is having my spa. So having my spa, I have it in my wallet, and I draw. So every time I have something new, or when I think about something, I go back on it. So I really live this vision. I really it's part of my life already. So when you have that, I guarantee you'll be able to move forward. And when you'll have some step back, some I wouldn't say failure, but problems or whatever, you will have that maybe on your wall, on your wallet, or you'll see it. So that's why it's important that you live that already, this vision. So that was step number two. Step number three. So step number three is you have to know your audience. You have to know exactly who is your niche, who you want to target. So for that, you need to make sure to know what age they are, if they are men or women, if they like, what they don't like, what motivates them, what problems they have, what you can help them with, their fears, everything, all the struggle they have. So you have to know exactly who is your audience, because if you don't know, you can't go all over the place. You cannot get to prospect everybody. You need to have an audience, and you need to know who is your niche. So step number 4, you have to know which platform you want to prospect. You can't, especially when you're a newbie, when you're new and you want to build your business online, you cannot prospect all over the place. You can be in Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere, LinkedIn, all of a sudden. So you have to know exactly which platform is best for you, is best for your niche. So then you'll be able to know where to get it. So for example, if you choose to go on Facebook, and it's the one I would recommend if you are new and you want to build your business online, because you can have your profile, you can have your business page. There are so many tools you can get with Facebook, more than you would have with Twitter or with Instagram. That's my point of view. I prefer Facebook. That's the one I started with, and now I'm on Instagram and Twitter, but I started with Facebook. So what you do is you can go to the audience insight tools that is on Facebook, and you can see who is maybe your audience right now. Who are the most people, the age group, what they do, their income. You know so many things when you go to this audience insight. And what you do also is when you want to target people, you can write the interest, who is your target, and you'll know exactly which page they liked, which community they are with, what big leaders they are following. So you'll see all of that, and that will help you to after prospecting some groups, going to pages, and you're going to do some comment, and that's how you're going to get more followers. So choosing your platform is very important, but before you start going all over the place, be an expert on one platform. So the step number 5 is you need to have a content strategy. You need to be an expert on your niche. You need to be seen as an authority figure, because this way you'll have people following you and your audience contacting you and new followers all the time and prospect. So you want to have your leads coming to you. You don't want to always prospect. So that's why it's important that you bring content. For that, you need to be consistent. You can't be putting a post and not posting for 3 days. That is not going to work. So that's why consistency is so important. But you need to have a few content. Now, if you are a new person trying to build your business online, of course you're not going to have many contents. You're not going to have a million of blog done. But don't get discouraged. Do it step by step. No matter what, everybody started at one point. So what I would say is try to do a blog or 2 maybe a week. So then you build up bit by bits, and in 2 or 3 months you'll have more, and you can put more content directly onto your fan page, because all your blogs or your videos, the good thing, they are here, they are evergreen, which means that they are always there. So you can send them back and showing them from time to time. So once you have content done, you can use them. But if you are new, of course you have to build up. So try to do some YouTube videos, blogs. Also Facebook Live is very good because it's easy. You don't have to edit anything. So that is great, and it goes fast. If, for example, you are new and you don't know really what to talk about, just talk about a few tips that you learned that day, because as you know, as an entrepreneur, especially in network marketing, you have to learn something new every day. You have to do some training. Nobody knows everything. So even though you do trainings, even with Ray Higdon, and Ray Higdon always said that he has coaches as well. So don't think if you are a leader or even big leaders that stop training. They always learn something. So you have to do that. You can't stop. It's not because you're doing a course, cost you maybe $1,000 or whatever, and then you think that's it, I'm done learning, and I know that is not happening, right? You always have to learn something new. So when you listen to a podcast, when you learn a new training, you can use that and do a Facebook Live. And that's how you're going to bring content and bring value for your audience. And then that's how you're going to be recognized as an authority figure. So that's what you want to do. If you have time to do blogs, do a blog. Because everybody is different. Some people work full-time already and they want to build a side business. Some people have kids, their moms at home. So you see on your timeline what you want to do, but you need to be consistent and put something every day. So what I would say also, when you create your content, when you do a nice picture, don't put only the pictures this way and that's it, you're gone and with a quote. But try to do something personal, something that, because I was doing that. That's why I'm trying to help you doing these videos, because I did that and it didn't really work. I didn't get much engagement. I was just putting the quote with a nice picture that I was making myself. But since I started to do and adding more about it, personal things, or adding more content, I have more engagement. So that's why it's very important that you don't really think about it one day and decide to put a picture and that's it, you're done in 2 seconds. You have to make time and to take time to do this post, because even if it's 1 or 2, you want it to be nice. You want to be recognized as a credible person that really take care of her business and not just pushing images like that. All right. So step number 6 is you have to get into a routine. Okay, so when you do your strategy, content strategy, you have to make sure that you brand yourself and not the company you're representing. So that is very important also. Brand yourself. You don't know you love your company right now, but you don't know in a few years' time if the company will be still here, if the project will be still good. You don't know. Anything can happen. But if you want to be in this industry for a long term, you have to brand yourself, because you'll have your audience. And if tomorrow your company closes down, you won't be credible anymore, because everybody will know you from that company and not for yourself. So that's why it's so important that you brand yourself, that you put your name out there. And then when you have followers, you can say what type of project you are doing and what they can do, what you can do to help them, but not pushing much the company. All right, so don't put any links, and that's what I always say. Don't put any links on your profile. Wait for the people to contact you, or when you're messaging them, then you can tell, look, I'm doing that and that. Would you be interested? Would you be open to see what I'm doing? Don't give them the link like that, but just say, are you open to see my link? And if they are, just show them what you're doing. But don't push your links like that on Messenger, especially, because it's not very nice and it pushes people away. Especially when you're on different products. I mean, weight loss products, we have millions of them. Energy boosts, we have millions of them. The drinks, coffees, all of them. There are so many. You don't know which one you choose. But what people want now, if they are going to choose one company, they want to choose the person with whom they're going to work with. So that is why it's so important that branding yourself, then kind of know you and then want to work with you, and that's how they're going to choose the company. Because if you put the link out there, and it's what I always say, they are going to Google your company and they might not go with you, especially if you're new in this industry. They're going to go with bigger leaders, with people that they see and that having a lot of followers, and they're not going to build the business with you. So that is why you shouldn't put your link, because they really want to go with leaders and not a person that just starts. But if you bring value, if you are shown, if you see, put yourself as a human being, as a nice person, a positive person, an authority figure, someone that knows what I'm talking about, then your followers will follow for you and not for the company. Okay, so that is so important that you brand yourself. So when you do your routine, you have to maybe take a day. So depending, as I said earlier, if you are working already full-time, or if you're doing that full-time, or how long you have, but you need to be getting into a routine. You need to post every day, but also what you can do is maybe take Sunday, for example, you don't go with your family and you decide to take maybe 3 hours of the Sunday, prepare all your week on the post of the week, and then pictures and stuff like that. You can schedule it, and this way you know if you don't have time to be online every day because you're working or there is something that you have to do instead of being online. So that is why it is so important that you prepare your routine, write everything, even every day what you do. Like I have a whiteboard in my study there, and I write everything I do every day, how many posts on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, what I do, if I do a video, if I get how many prospects, how many people I added on my followers list, my friend requests, different things like that. So I have everything on the whiteboard, and then I tick or write the numbers, and I see after a week. And that's how when I said on step 1 that you need to have your activity goals, you know exactly what you're doing during the week. And on Friday you see if you decided maybe to add 100 or 50 more people into your time in your Facebook profile, and you had only 10, you say, or 20 or 100, and you didn't go near that, you can readjust, you can reassess what you can do for the following week. Maybe you're going to push yourself next week, or maybe you're going to reassess and put maybe numbers down because it's not working for you. So that's why it's so important that you have a routine. If you decide, for example, to do 2 or 3 videos a week, try to keep it this way, because I always say, and I said it earlier, consistency is very important. If you show up every day, if you have your followers and they see that you are always there, it's going to work for you. It might take a little bit of time. As I said, it's not going to happen overnight, but it will work out. And the good thing about the audience insight also, you can see when is the best time to do videos, when is the best time to do posts. So when you do your routine, try to do everything. And that is the next step I'm going to talk about, is track your results. When you're doing business, you have to track what you're doing. If you're doing the right thing, or if you are doing something that doesn't really work, so you're wasting your time. So that's why it's so important you track your results. So when I do have my links, what I do is I put them, I shorten them first in bit.ly.com, bit.ly.com. Very easy, you create a new link. So you have your long link and you shorten it, so it's better for Twitter. But also it's better good because you can see how many people watch it, when, and where they are. So you have a few things like that that you can check just for the statistic, to make sure that you do the right thing, because sometimes you can think that it's working well for you or it doesn't work well, but why? Maybe you're posting when nobody's there, when your audience is not there. So that's why it's so important that you do that. So track your results and see what's working, what is not working. If you have more engagement in some of the posts, maybe you should push on that type of post. If you don't, for example, if you have, like, for example, that is a good example. When I was doing Facebook Lives, before I was doing it at 6 o'clock in the evening, I didn't have as much engagement because I realized a lot of people were from the UK, which meant that they were already in bed. So that's why now I'm doing them around 2 o'clock, which means I still have my US people around here in this area. I'm in Jamaica, so we are near the US, which is a good, it's great because we have Canada as well and US. But in Europe, it's still the evening time where people are on their computer. It's not too late. So that's why it's important that you check where is your audience, and also when is the best time, so you can catch everybody. So that's why it's very important that you do track your results and you see when is the best time for you to post and when is the best time to do videos, so you'll be able to have more followers. So Facebook, the insight audience is very good for that. You can check everything, you can check when you have more people, when is the best time, you have all the charts, and you can see that. So that is brilliant, and that's why I really like Facebook for that. You can see. I think you have the same, but I'm not so much of an expert on Instagram and Twitter, so that's why I wouldn't be able to tell you everything about it. Okay. So that was step number 7, and step number 8 is you have to grow your audience. You have to engage with people, because doing content, doing videos, Facebook, bringing value is one thing, but you want to attract people and you want to converse with them, you want to connect with them, you want to make sure that you're always adding people. So that's how you're going to do. You're going to add more people on your profile all the time. You're going to add more people on your Facebook fan page also, or Instagram, or your Twitter. You have to add more followers all the time. So you have tools as well. You can follow and unfollow people that don't follow you back, so then you don't cramp your followers. On Facebook is only 5,000 people. That's why I'm nearly this 5,000. I'm kind of wait and see. I might unfollow a few people to add more people, because I don't want to follow people as well that have no interest with what I'm doing. So that's why it's important that you check their profile first before you follow them, and then you are going to build relationship with them. But don't build relationship for months and months and months. After maybe a few conversations, a day or two, you have to talk about your business. If they're not interesting, it's fine. You don't have to unfollow them, but you don't need to waste too much time on them. So that is one thing as well that I had to learn, because sometimes I was taking too long and I saw that there were no interest, but I didn't know how to start conversation and stuff like that. So that is something that you have to do. I have a few scripts. If you want, you can always contact me, I'll show you, but I like it to be personal every time. I even add more people on my Facebook. I just send a little message, and I know if it's genuine and they are asking me for friend request to have more followers, or if they really want to work with me or not. So that's how you're going after to unfollow these people, to add like-minded people. You don't want to have followers to have followers. You want to have like-minded people, and might be potential prospect followers, or leads, or even customers, distributors. So that's how it is working. You have to add more people to your profile and your followers, but also you need to have more groups. You have to connect with people in groups, and that's the importance of having your niche and knowing exactly what you're doing. Also, what you have to do to connect with people is, once you have these groups, you are going to talk to and connect with people. So that's why it's so important that you engage with people. I have an engagement group also, which helped me a lot. So every time we were posting, we had more people coming and engage, because Facebook wants to see your engagement. If they don't see engagement, they're not going to put your profile and your post on top of the algorithm. So that's not going to happen. So if you want to have more followers, you need to have more engagement. To have more engagement, you need to have more people. So that's why it takes time. Don't be discouraged, and especially if you just start, it's not going to happen. Like, it took me nearly a year to have so many engagement. I don't have millions of engagement, don't get me wrong. I'm not a huge leader and expert, but I'm getting there. And all the mistakes I made, and that's why I'm not going to say that I'm an expert on everything, but I did some mistakes, and I can show you, I can help you to overcome these mistakes, because I did them, and now I'm getting better all the time. So that's what you want. You want me to be surrounded with mentors, with coaches that will help you, because most of the time when you buy or you get into trainings, you get very overwhelmed with that information, and that is a big problem. And if you don't have people to guide you exactly to where you're going to do, what you should do every day, and that's what I like. Everything I'm learning, I have a training every day, so that trainings, and then I can show my team, I can show the people I'm training, so then they'll be able to move forward, but not having all this amount of information where it's really overwhelming, and then you're completely discouraged because you're learning so much and you don't see anything, nobody coming to you, and you have no leads, no money, no distributors, no customers. So it's what you want to do. You want to build and grow your business, but you have to be very careful. You don't want to for example, to put everything and do 10 posts a day for a week and then stop. You have to be consistent. You can't. So start little by little, but definitely keep consistency. Add up something new every time. Get to get better. Even prospecting. At the start, I didn't know what to say, but now I've learned so much and all the mistakes I made, and especially when you have people that don't like what we're doing, and that's why we have to make a difference, because this industry, unfortunately, a lot of people abused and did mistakes, and that's why when you were, I was doing the same thing, was spamming everybody, sending links. I lost a lot of friends that don't even talk to me anymore. But having said that, I learned by my mistakes, and now that's how we have to make sure that we do brand ourselves and we don't put the links. So that's what we have to do. We have to change this thing about network marketing being a scam or pyramid or whatever the people are saying. You have legit companies, and it's working well for some, and why it's working well for some and why it's not for others, because there is some consistency, because they never gave up, because they were not impatient, and because they had a structure, they had something, a plan, and not a plan after 2 months or 3 months. They have a plan, a long-term plan. Okay, so I hope this video helps you. Reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to show you first what I'm doing, but also to see what you're doing, and maybe you're struggling on some places, and maybe I can help you. I can send you to some of my videos I did or some training I have, and if I don't know the answer, I have mentors, have coaches that can help me as well and help you at the same time. So that is a great thing. When we're a team, that's what I like, my community, we're helping each other. If we don't know something, or sometimes we just even show with Ray done, which is great. We show what type of conversation we have and what we should have said and why we didn't say that and didn't happen. So we are helping each other, which is great to be in a community like that. Alright, so thank you guys, and I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time for next video. Bye.